this one for very cheap. I think it was like $8 on Craigslist. I think there's a local grower who at the time was listing his plants on Craigslist, and I got this one, as well as he threw in for free I'm blanking on the Latin name, but a staghorn fern. A staghorn fern, which I still have. It's not looking great right now, but it's alive. So it's actually outside right now, so I can't show it to you, but that's fine because we're focusing on this Dorstenia foetida today. So I actually have this in a cover pot. This white pot or cashmere has no drainage on the bottom. But the white matches the rest of my pots, the rest of my plants. So I try to put most things in white cover pots. But because it's heavy, it's a ceramic, I'm going to take it out. And I'll also be able to show you better the base of the plant if I take it out of this cash pot. I also prefer the tapping sounds that the clay pot makes. You may notice that the plant is wobbling a bit when I tap the pot. I need to be very gentle with my tapping because Dorstenia have very shallow, fine root systems. So years ago, like 2 years ago, I think, when I was first getting interested in the little flowers, I put a little plastic baggie over one of the flowers to try to catch the seeds, and I didn't end up with anything. I'm just waiting for the day when I have a little Dorstenia seedling pop up in an adjacent plant. This plant is also cool because it grows upwards, as you can see, and puts on these leaves, which are kind of a little bit furry. They have a cool soft texture to them, but it also branches off. I think you can see here. There's a little branch coming off the side, so it's expanding that way. And it also is putting on new growth down here. I don't want to tip it too far down. As you can see there, here, and there's another little growth, and right here is another tiny little growth. And this will eventually grow up and out and be as big and prolific as this original stem, original trunk. I think these are considered codex plants, which means that they store the water in the trunk, in the codex. At the base of the plant here. As it grows and matures, I think the codex will